Our mini lecture today is on Chapter 5, Social Structure in Society. And what we're going to be looking at in here is how our society is influenced by the different social structures that exist around the world. As we can see in this picture here, we have the ancient Egyptian social pyramid, where you had the pharaoh on the top and the slaves at the bottom. The pharaoh is followed by the government officials, the soldiers, the scribes, the merchants, the craftsmen, the peasants, and the slaves. This was society in ancient Egypt. In medieval England, you had the monarch, you had the nobles, you had the knights, and then you had the peasants. Social structure, no matter what, is going to influence society, and it's going to be able to put predictable relationships in society. Humans interpret and define each other's actions, and this can be through your social structure and where you land in the realm of power within your society. Now, there are how you define social structure is different all around the world. This is mainly through negotiated order, where you have existence through social interactions which define and redefine character. People nowadays in the 21st century basically can control where they land on the social ladder most of the time. Back in the medieval period, in the old days, that wasn't necessarily the case. People can negotiate changes in social interaction. People can do. You don't necessarily have to be of the most wealth to be able to speak to someone that is very wealthy anymore. You can decide which social structure you belong to. Status in a society refers to any position that you hold within a large group or society. You can hold more than one status at a time. An ascribed status is status you were born with. Achieved status is a status you will earn. So, for example, some of these ascribed status could be that. So let's take a high school junior male. Okay, status could be son, grandson, academic achiever, holds a job at the local supermarket, works in the yard, lifts weights. I mean, these are different types of statuses. But of those, statuses that are ascribed would be 16, male, son. Okay. Achieved would be working at the local supermarket, doing the yard, being a student. Those are things that you earn and you do. And nothing is forcing that. You were not born being a student. Okay. You're not born working at a cash register in a supermarket. Those are statuses that you earn. For example, with me, I am a son, I'm a grandson, and but achieved status would be I'm a teacher, I have earned a doctorate degree, various things like that. Those are the differences between the two. Social roles set expectations for people. You can there is always you can hold more than one role at a time. Ascribe and achieve, you can be both a son or a daughter, and yet at the same time you can be a teacher. Okay, depending on the situation. You've got that. If you are in a household, there are some of my coworkers are mothers, wives, and they're teachers, and some of them have worked at the shoe store before. Okay, they all hold that. But yet you're going to have role conflict which takes place. Role conflict occurs when expectations arise in two or more social positions held by the same person, where you're going to have conflict. And sometimes being a parent, you are going to have to go take your children to do certain things, but yet that's going to interfere with your job. That's what causes role conflict and role strain, the difficulties that rise with holding more than one position in society and in that social structure. And groups. Groups are the number of people with similar norms and values who interact with each other on a regular basis. And many of your friend groups are going to have very similar shared experiences. And that concludes our lecture today on social structure and society.